Okay, we got some underground electrical we're working on right now, and these are some conduits. I got these 2-inch from my disconnect. These 3/4 are for my septic system. The 1-inch is for a fiber internet line. This Schedule 80 3-inch is from my pad mount transformer to my meter can. This rigid steel conduit here is for my mount for my service to mount on, because it's a remote meter. And this strut is to mount the meter can and the disconnect. And I've got a 200 amp disconnect here with it's a fused disconnect. So because we're doing a remote meter, we need a way to shut it off out there. So it's a single phase 200 amp disconnect. It could easily be a 3-phase disconnect, and you could just skip the middle part or even take the parts out yourself if you wanted to. But this is a nice square D disconnect. I've used those before, and we're also installing some more CS63 outlets for expanding my grid connections from underground pipes that we've installed recently, instead of the SO cords that are running a lot of places. So we're undergrounding some of that now, which is cool. This is a pallet of wire for some of those undergrounds. I found it pretty easy to get the wire cut to length. So I pull a string in the pipe, and then I tie a knot in it, and then pull the string out of the pipe while more string comes in, so I have a pull line. And then I measure it with the rolling wheel to get my measurements. And of course I have to account for whatever terminations go inside the panels and stuff like that. So I'm going to put in terminate some of these conduits that are in the barn here. That one and this one I'm going to put a CS63 on, 50 amp twist lock that is, and I'm going to use it to power the welder that I'm going to weld these columns together with. These columns right here, I have to weld these plates on, and I'm going to use some dual shield flux core 045 wire for that. So I'll bring the welder down and a gas tank, a shielding gas tank, and then weld those plates on, and then those sit on these pieces of concrete here. There's one here and one there, and I put insulation on them to keep them from freezing. This is not perfect, but this one's a little better coverage. I figured this one needed more because it was smaller. This is the wheel I used to measure the wire, and don't mind this kludge here. So this is the inside trough here. I'm gonna have a NQ panel board here that takes QOB bolt-on circuit breakers of the QO line. It's an industrial panel board. It's gonna have a 225 amp bus on it, and then next to it over here I'm gonna have the MDP, if in this case, which is the main distribution panel board, and it's gonna have a 600 amp bus on it, not because I need 600 amps, but because when you hook up in feed of a solar system to it, if you do that, your maximum in feed is a proportion of your maximum bus bar size in amps. So in order to prevent derating of a solar system, I want to have a panel board that has a bus large enough to feed in a high amount of current. So we have 4 inches of mineral wool insulation going down on top of this gravel. This entire barn foundation is filled with gravel, all the way from the original undisturbed dirt up to this grade. And then we're gonna have 4 inches of mineral wool on top of that. which means we have to flatten out all this gravel like perfectly. And then on top of that, we'll have 4 inches of concrete. So you can sort of see that 8 inches here. And these Schedule 80 reinforced stainless steel ring, tension ring around where the threads go. Reinforced connectors are going to be embedded in the concrete, and then the stainless steel part will sort of be the transition point. And then it's EMT up to the trough. We're trying to have no PVC inside the structure. As an agricultural building, I think you could say that it would be appropriate to use commercial building standards. So all the PVC is going to be underground and bushinged off right there. So it'll all be steel above that. And then, yeah, sorry about this outlet. This outlet was actually, it's not an outlet, it's an inlet, which means it's got male pins on it. And this is just this is a regular extension cord, and it's feeding into the male pins of the outlet to feed our well, which is coming in this conduit here. And as I installed the trough today, I had to pull those wires out a bunch. So I took it all apart. That used to be mounted on top of the conduit in this box. So it was all put together and secured. Just haven't put it back together yet today. So not a permanent solution. Again, the same thing happened out here. We have another trough here. This is a Hammond 12R enclosure, so it's extremely weather tight. Doesn't have any penetrations. That one on the inside is more of like a consumer electric panel, and this is like a more of an industrial panel. These are stainless steel. All these studs are stainless steel. And same thing, the Schedule 80 connectors with this reinforcing ring here to keep the connector from splitting. And then what rain tight EMT connectors into it. And then the strut rain tights on the bottom too. This is our through connection to the other trough on the other side. And this, again, I had to pull this out to get it fed through, because this is a wire we're actually using. And it used to be, this panel mount connector used to be installed in this box, like just a little while ago. So I'm gonna get that all fixed up. I got another data trough here. So this is Cat5s for internet router mesh network. And we're gonna have the same Schedule 80 connectors on it and these. So there's a step up in the concrete, and we have 3 heat pumps out here. 1, 2, 3, and you can see the refrigerant sleeves through the wall there for them. And this is gonna be a higher level, so I'll cut these PVC off here before we fill this in. And that's that. And then I may have covered these conduits in a previous video, I hope, but these are the ones we're digging for now. So that's a 2-inch for our, what amounts to be our branch circuit that comes out of our service disconnect. And then the 3/4 underneath, or next to it down there, this one on the right, is septic power. We have a septic system that requires electricity. And then the one above it is a data connection for, probably for a fiber connection if we ever get access to that. So that's in this ditch. We're shooting for about 30 to 40 inches of cover in some of these places, because the final topography isn't set for this location yet. We have to scrape it down a little bit. We hit a whole lot of telephone wires. I think we hit 8 telephone wires. I don't know what's up with these people and their telephone wires, but this is 2 of them. There's another one here. There's a bunch more, which was cool. Lots of telephone wires. We have an underground water line here that I was watching out for, but we didn't hit that. There's another telephone wire and another one. That's nice. We hit a old drain line here. Let me show you this one. This one was really great. I've had some other interactions with this line before, but it's real special. So I don't know how they got water through there, but she's full up, as it were. And this is a gas line that we hit. Unimportant, because all of our gas connections were removed, cut off after the fire. So these were all just in the ground. I was able to rip out a whole lot of it. It may have actually gone all the way back to the street connection where it was cut by the utility. It looks like they cut the end off there. So I think I got the gas line out, which is really cool. I didn't get its tracer wire, but oh, we also hit an old another old septic line, not in use, of course. So when I hit this line, I always dig it back and cut it off, and then I've hit it a few times. There it is, where it's busted. So I'll dig it back about, looks like it's got a big crack on the side, so maybe 10 inches or a foot, and then I'll cut it off flush, and I have a cap, one of these like thin drain gauge caps. It won't take a Schedule 40 cap, it takes that other goofy size. And look, another telephone wire, that's nice. I hit an old ground rod here. You can see that kinky piece of copper metal over there. That's an old ground rod I pulled out. We hit this cool rock formation here. This doesn't exist anywhere else. And the rock is all red, which is kind of fun. It's a different color. And then it's got this big coal seam behind it here. So there's like a geologic formation that doesn't exist there. Comes up here, there's the coal. And then here's the rock, which is like this really fractious sandstone. And it's red, which is kind of unique. And then it kind of pitters out right there. And then we actually hit building materials, as it were, for the old stone building here. It looks like this pile of sandstone pieces were actually used to build this sandstone structure here. So I think we sort of hit the building stockpile. You can see a little bit more of it there. And then there's some of the red rock, and looks like there's a little piece of coal there. It's left, and then fall down. So this is our sewer septic connection here. I had a steel pin, which looks like that, marking it, and so we dug it up there. And then this is just some more trench, some more phone wires. There's one. This is not the same one. This is a separate. This one's larger. This one's, I think it's like 8 phone wires. I don't know. It's crazy. I've kind of lost count. So we're gonna come down here. We're getting close to the road here. So now we're coming in deeper as we go down the hill. And then I was trying to figure out where to put this service. So I kind of drilled a bunch of holes, but it turns out that the hole I wanted was right here. And I drilled another one here. You can see the little curve of it. I've completely ruined it with this digging, but the cut is there from the drill, so we'll be able to clear it out with a post hole digger, no big deal. And so right here, facing that way, so we're on the back of the equipment, we're gonna have 2 pieces of rigid conduit set in these drilled holes, like one here and one here. And on this side, we're gonna have that disconnect I showed you. And on this side, we're gonna have a meter can with a left entry. It's an underground, it's a meter can designed for underground entry, so it's extra wide, so the wires can come in and go into the top of it really easy. We're gonna have a meter and a disconnect with a 2-inch Schedule 40 coming this way towards the trough over there, and then a 3-inch Schedule 80 with 36-inch sweeps going that way. And it's gonna go down this ditch right here, whoop, and then underneath that excavator do a pad mount transformer. So that's the plan, and yeah, hope that's cool. We'll have a couple ground rods here and stuff like that, but remote remote service. So that's what we're doing today. Thanks for looking. Bye.